So this looks like to be a slightly more difficult question. We've got details of a triangle here. I'll search around and find a ruler. So we've got RP, which is 8.7 centimetres. We've got PQ, and we have an angle. So RPQ, and R I'm going to put here at the top. R to P, this isn't going to work out exactly because I'm not measuring it exactly, but let's go RP's that. It says, if we make that R, it also says that the angle at Q, R, P and Q, the angle at Q is acute. So let's try and make it acute. That angle there. I'll do my best to make it an acute angle. And that's where I'd start off. PQ, it's not quite in proportion here. PQ is 5.2. PRQ is 32. And this side, RP, is 8.7. Now, so at this point, where are we going with this? We can see there's no right angle going on here. We can see that this is an acute angle. So this is not the longest side. We have to calculate the area of this side, this shape here. So I'm thinking if I'm trying to calculate the area of the shape, I'm going to use the formula half AB sine C. Now my issue with this is that for that formula, I'd like that angle because I want these sides. So I have two sides and one angle. I actually want the other angle, this angle here. But what I can do is I can use this and this to find out the angle at Q. And once I know the angle at Q, I can work out the angle at P. And if I know the angle at P, I can then use this side and this side, my formula here, to be able to solve it. So my first port of call is finding this angle P, Q, R. And to do that, because I'm finding an angle, I'd use sine Q over little q, which is this one, the opposite one, is equal to sine R, which we know is 32, over little r, which is 5.2. And I can see that sine Q is equal to sine 32 over 5.2 times by 8.7. So I can find out what sine Q is by using my calculator. Sine 32 times by, now what I actually like doing before that is actually press equals at that stage and then times by 8.7 and then divide by 5.2. And I have 0.88 dot 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 dot. Remember, I need to keep this number on the calculator and use it, because now I'm going to press shift sign answer. That uses that without me having to type it all in, and that will then give me Q, which would be 62.44853. Now I've written that to a number of decimal places because I will be using it again. and because it's told me what this angle is here, and I'm just going to write 62 in here, and then that will hopefully give me what this angle is here. So therefore, angle P equals 180 minus 32 minus 62.44 dot dot dot. So if I do that on my calculator, I do 180 minus my answer minus 32 equals, so I know the angle I am dealing with there is 85.551. Okay, and that will do for now. It says the 3 significant figures there, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures there. So I'm well within the tolerance there in terms of accuracy. Anyway, I'll leave that number on my calculator. It might be useful, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to examine this part of the triangle here. I know this is 85, roughly 85.6. I know that. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 8.7 times 5.2, i.e. these two sides here, sine C times by sine of 85.6. So actually, if I do the sine of my answer and press equals, and I times that by 5.2, and I times that by 8.7, and I times that by 0.5, I will have the area which equals 22.551855. And it's in centimetres, so, and it's 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, cut that off, round that up, I can see it's 22.6 centimetres squared. And that's 4 marks for that part of the question. So if we move this up, it then says, if you do not know the angle PQR is an acute angle, what effect would this have on your calculation of the area of that triangle? Well, if you didn't know it was an acute angle, you would have to think that there are 2 values it could be. This value, which is the first one, which would give you that acute angle there, which would give you your 62 degrees, or this one here, which would have to be complementary to 180, so this would be 118 degrees. So it would have to be 118 degrees. And if that angle was 118 degrees, we would have 180 minus 118 degrees minus 32 degrees, and that would mean the angle at P would be .30 degrees. And when you do sine of 30, it's a half, so it would actually make the area smaller. So it would make the area smaller as sine 30 equals a half, and sine 85.6 equals nearly 1. We'll just show you what it is. Sine 85.6. There we are, it's 0.997. So that's how you would answer that question. It's a big question, it's a 5-mark question. It's taken me about 10 minutes to do with explanations for this video. But that will get you the entirety of the marks.